No, that's not right. Make this really good. There we go. Hello, guys. This is your Nature's Landing. Let me turn one light on real quick. Hello, guys. Welcome to Nature's Landing. How you guys doing today? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Good morning to you people out there in the world in Eastern Time, Virginia. So, I hope you guys are having a good day. Welcome to today's video about texting. What I'm trying to say is about texting because, okay, this is my thoughts. Okay, because this thing I did some thinking this morning. So, I realized texting could be a hypnotic tool or overwhelming tool. Okay, like people will get fed up with your text messages, like when you're blowing your phones up or something. Like what I'm trying to say is, when you're blowing someone's phone up, like when all these notifications come in from you, like your messages, it pisses people off. Okay, what I'm trying to say is, you just gotta be mindful. Okay, so because I would do is not text anyone anymore, like my family or whatever, but messages are like rude or something, they're like intruding or something, but it depends on the person's space or something. I'm autism, but I'm just fed up with texting because it's not people's fault, but I'm trying to respect their boundaries. Now, I'm just thinking like calls are intruding, texting is intruding, everything's intruding, you know? People don't want to talk to you anymore, man. You know, it's not good for you, man. Like, if you're texting a girl nonstop, she might be fed up with your bullcrap. Like, if you keep the conversation flowing, that's good, but it's not going to work. You know? I'm not that desperate, because I know the truth. Because, think about it, we're facing all these challenges right now, you know? Like, in the real world right now, we're facing challenges from the evilness, man. You know? It's so overwhelming. You know, you gotta accept what God has to say to us. You know, like I think it's time for you to let you go. You know, like God's trying to tell you it's time for you to let her go. You know, I'm just using this for an example. Okay, you gotta be mindful, know what you're doing with these messages or something. If you don't know how to use your phone properly, your parents might take it away from you as well. But you gotta be mindful of people's boundaries. There's a bug in here. So you gotta be mindful of people's boundaries. Just shut off texting, delete Facebook, delete Messenger, delete everything, all social medias. It's gonna change your powers. I'm telling you, because it does bring you peace and solace, okay? Don't get me wrong, but I delete Facebook already, but you just gotta understand the plan is, the texting is the truth, because I'm not trying to be a burden, but texting's not my thing anymore. You know? I realized I overstepped people's boundaries in the past. Texting nonstop. It gets people, when people send you anger emojis or something, they fed up with your texting, because that means they're having a tough time at work right now. They're having a tough day right now. They're just using it as an excuse against you. You don't know what's going on with their people's life, okay? You just gotta understand what people's personality is in life. Okay? This is real life, people. You gotta understand. If you don't understand the consequences of your own actions that will impact people's boundaries, you just gotta be careful, man. I'm telling you, texting will make things worse. I would just speak to in-person conversations, you know, not to waste my energy on texting, you know, because I'm too hesitant to text right now, you know. I just don't want to be too needy and pushy. You know, you just gotta understand, guys, we're facing more challenges in the world right now. Like, we're going through some issues right now, global warming, you know. You just gotta think about it, guys. Make sure you get prepared for the outcomes as well, because, let me use an example, okay? If you're dating a girl right now, and you got her number, like, over time you're texting her, and she texts you back, responds, but if she tells you to stop messaging, stop. Because she could be not interested in engaging in conversations right now. Okay? When a girl tells you to stop messaging, because she might not be interested in you texting. Okay? It depends on the person, okay? Okay? It could be depends on the person's body language, preferences, you know? Like, if someone gets off work, they're feeling stressed and tired, do you think it's not a good idea to text? No, it isn't. It's intruding. You know? My example is, why you're texting. Why you're texting out this weekend when someone's working? You should know their schedule, right? You should know their schedule. Exactly. You should not be texting when they're working, because it might set people's fuses off. You know, you don't want to do that, man. I'm telling you. Because men are worried about women will lash out on others, like us. You know? We gotta keep ourselves safe and sorry, you know? We gotta keep fighting our souls and our faith, you know? We just gotta not make things worse in life. This is reality, people. We gotta not text, because or it's gonna make things worse. You gotta think about it. Okay? It's up to you. If you don't want to text, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not your parent, but if you want to text, you're gonna make things worse. But I'm telling you, but I get pretty lashed out sometimes, but not as much. Once in a while. I got this ball from the YMCA. It's a stress ball. Like, it's slimy. See? It helps with my stress when I'm dealing with struggles, you know. They gave it to me for free. I don't know why. That's just not good idea, you know. It's too much kindness, but I appreciate it. But it feels good when I let my stress go. This little, when you go like that. Look at that. Ew, I got sticky shit. Excuse me. Alright, let me fix the ball. I'm gonna break it. This is a stress relief ball, I gotta tell you. Smells like raspberries. You know that? So you see, people, texting will intrude people's space. You know, when people are busy with work, with stuff at home, it's not a good idea. People will say, hey, you're fine. That's not good. That's a red flag. Okay? But if they tell you you're fine, just accept it. But don't text anymore. Okay? I'm not telling you what to do. I'm trying to help you out, fans. Okay? Like, this is society. People change. This is human nature. You know? I call it society. Like, it's like a village. Like, people on their phones all the time, going for walks, like that. You know? People get busy all this stuff, you know? They don't have time for conversations. They just want to use it against you, like, you know? It could be necessarily true, but I'm just saying is, I'm not a moron about it, but I know the truth behind the, what do you call it? I know behind the truths, because I just know better, because I ask myself, if I message my friend, it's not a good idea. She's got a lash out on me, is she? I would say, don't do it. You know, don't do it, you know? Because I will upload a video if I want to. This is my channel. I want to help people to get their self-improvement going, to boost confidence up. It's really important to boost your confidence up. It's good enough for your health. It's good for you. But just don't go asking for people's numbers, okay? That's not respecting boundaries, man. But that's breaking the ice, man. You don't want to break ordeal, you know? That's not good, okay? You got to do some thinking before you do any risks, because you might get rejected, you might get hurt, you know? Like, don't ask anyone on a date anymore, but it doesn't work on me anymore. But I get pretty rejected for many reasons, you know? I'm too weak, I'm not good enough. But I'm trying to work on myself a little bit, which is good, but it takes time, people. I'm too young to be dating anyways. I'm 24 years old, but you just gotta understand it, guys. This is important in life. You know, this is part of life. Rejection is part of life. This is human nature, and this is society. It's just the way people will, they'll say, you're not my type. It's just the way it's telling you you're not that person for her, okay? I'm just trying to give you some advice, okay? I hope you understand my video is helpful to you guys. Make sure you just understand me better. That way you guys, if you're on the same page like me, because if you don't, you might not understand me, who I am, because this is life. because I know what nature landing is. Nature, I'm connected with nature because I'm out here in the woods where my church is. I'm at the shed, but I already got permission to the church, but don't worry about it. But this is my church. I'm the member. But you gotta understand, you guys, you gotta respect those boundaries. If you don't, you're gonna mess up part-time. Okay? Like, if you keep overstepping boundaries, you might go in jail for a time. Okay? I know it's not illegal, but it doesn't matter anymore because I know the truth anyways. Because I ain't playing games, man. Because people will call the cops on you for any reasons. For necessarily questions, you know. People gotta make sure you're okay, you know. I had this happen to me before, but I would just not approach any women anymore. But I'm sorry, women. I'm not the type of guy. So, if any of you are women out there, I'm sorry. But I do respect your wishes, but just find someone else, alright? So, I'm not trying to be an ass about it, but I'm just like I say, guys, about texting, it's not a good idea, okay? Texting comes across as annoying, overwhelming people's boundaries, emotional distress, like from work, you know, when someone gets off work, and they'll lash out on you for texting. You gotta think about people's behaviors, man. You gotta be mindful. Okay? If this is what happens, you don't be mindful. And that comes across as overstepping boundaries. You know, it's okay to have in-person conversations, but no text messages don't work for me anymore. It doesn't work, necessarily don't work. Okay? Just understand me, folks. I'm trying to help best I can. But if you want to say something rude about me, that's fine. But I will still remove your comment. But I want to keep fighting my faith. I want to keep fighting my souls, my demons. But I'm connected with the Lord because I know the truths, what texting could do to people's behavior. Because it will lead to misunderstandings, miscommunication habits, texting daily messages. These are not good, people. These are bad habits. You gotta do it a better way. Text less is not bad, okay? I would do is no more text at all a week until next month, okay? But I'm not that desperate though. I'm fed up, you know? We're the mankind, you know? Some men don't text women as much, you know? Men still say, okay, let me respect those boundaries. So sometimes men don't say that. I don't heard men say that before, but I'm a man too, you know? I gotta keep things to myself a notch a little bit, so mosquito in here. Alright guys, thanks for your understanding, thanks for watching Nature's Landing, and there's a damn mosquito in my way, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'm about to head to Food Line and get some medicine. So I just need some heart medicine, heart pills, like heartburn, I meant to say, like acid digestive reflux. So I might have ate something I shouldn't eat, probably ice cream sandwiches, might have effed me up a little bit, but let me go turn these lights off real quick before I go. Alright people, thanks for watching Nature's Landing, and I hope you guys understand, and thanks for watching Nature's Landing, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye people, thanks for your watching. I might upload later, I'll see. Bye bye people.